Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my 30 plus decks. Today I'm going to be showing off oldie but a goodie, and this one is Kaalia of the Vast. 2-2 for 1, a red, a white, and a black. That is Mardu. 2-2 flying. Whenever Kaalia of the Vast attacks an opponent, I may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from my hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. So typically, as I see these decks go, it's either a little bit of each or all of one. And so this one is a lot of angels. And that's just kind of how I've kept the theme. That does not mean that there are no dragons nor demons. I can say that there are no crazy combos, like Master of Cruelties is not in the deck, so I don't have any way to just one-shot kill someone if they're unprepared. But it's a Kaalia deck, so it's definitely still a good deck. I know that one of my favorite cards to go with is which one is it? Platinum Angel is just, one that's kind of been used less and less in Commander because people have more and more removal and board wipes and whatever, but I still think that it's funny to just swing in with Kaalia and get in a free Platinum Angel. It just tickles my fancy. Anyways, I have shuffled. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Yeah. Alright, I'd say that's a solid hand. Alright. Let's go ahead and start this off. Turn 1. Draw. Okay. Let's go with an Evolving Wilds. I will crack it. Search for a... which one did I not have? I think it was Mountain. But I think I'm still going to search for a Plains. I know that this deck is a lot of white. So let's go with this Plains. Enters tapped. Yeah. This deck is one that I have a couple of friends that have Kaalia decks. One of them bought it when it was a pre-constructed deck, and that's one of the few decks that he's ever gonna just hang on to, even if he never plays Magic again. It's just, one of those sentimental decks at this point. Going to turn 2, untap, upkeep, draw. And then another one of my friends has just been very proud of their Kaalia deck for as long as I can remember. Thriving Bluff, enters tapped, taps for a red. I will choose white, so it taps for red or white. And let's go to turn 3. Untap, upkeep, draw. Very cool, very cool. Let's go with this Swamp. So now I've effectively got all of my colors. I will tap 3 and cast a Forebear's Blade. Equipped creature gets +3/+0, has Vigilance and Trample, and whenever the equipped creature dies, I attach Forebear's Blade to target creature I control. Let's go to turn 4. Let's untap, upkeep, and draw. Very neat. Okay. Let's go with this Plains. And let's just go for it. Red, white, black, and 1. Kaalia of the Vast. She is here. Going to turn 5. Untap, upkeep, draw. That would be for Command Beacon. So I do have ways, if someone spot removed Kaalia before I actually got a chance to attack, I could play Command Beacon, sacrifice it, return her from the command zone to my hand, and then recast her for the same cost. It would put me behind a land, but for Kaalia, it's one of those decks where you need to be prepared for people to remove it. That's definitely how I've thought of the deck, and that's... Get out of my sleeve. There we go. That's a fun way to go with the deck. Or smart way to go with the deck, how about? So there we go, that was my land for the turn. I could do a number of things. but I think that the best one for me is this. Tap 2 for a Prowler's Helm. Equipped creature can't be blocked except by walls. And I will tap another 2 to equip that to Kaalia. Now, Kaalia is a 2/2 flying that can't be blocked except by walls, so you gotta have your flying or reach walls out there. And I will be swinging with Kaalia. And on declaration of attack, I will be bringing out tapped and attacking Angelic Arbiter. 5/6 flying. Each opponent who cast a spell this turn can't attack with creatures. Each opponent who attacked with a creature this turn can't cast spells. This one I got out of a Jumpstart pack. And oh my goodness. There was another creature in there that was something like you can't activate abilities of non-land permanents or something like that. Yeah, gross pair to get in a same Angel Jumpstart. Either way, that's a total of 7 flying coming their way. Let's go to turn 6. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Very cool, very cool. Let's go with this Plains as my land for turn. Let's go Thriving Buff for a red. And let's go 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to cast Blood Mist. You know what? I take that back. I take that back. I have my reasons. Let me instead just tap 3 and equip Forebearer's Blade to Kaalia. So now Kaalia is a 5/2 flying vigilance trample that can't be blocked except by walls. And then I will declare attack with Kaalia. And when she attacks, I will bring in tapped and attacking a Sigarda's Vanguard. 3/3 flash flying. Whenever she enters the battlefield or attacks, choose any number of creatures with different powers. Those creatures gain double strike until the end of turn. So Kaalia and my Angelic Arbiter both have power 5. So me swinging with my just Kaalia and the Sigarda's Vanguard will be Kaalia gets double strike, Sigarda's Vanguard gets double strike. Yeah, it's that's kind of crazy because so far that's been 2, and now that's going to be 3, 4, 5. That's 10, so that's 12. That Kaalia's been swinging with. That's why there's targeted removal in these decks against her. Let's go to that final turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Very cool. Oh my gosh. Let's go with this Plains. Let's now go with red and 3 to cast Blood Mist. Now, since I have 2 creatures with power 5, I can use Blood Mist to give the other one double strike. And then let's go like this. Now that won't actually happen, so something like this. Beginning of combat. Kaalia will get double strike from Blood Mist. And then I will swing with Kaalia. I could also swing with any of the others. Give them double strike. But let's just go with what I'm planning. Akroma, Angel of Fury, is entering, tapped and attacking. Let me zoom in on her. Lots of words. It's an 8 cost, which is why I have it in this deck. 3 devotion to red. How am I going to do that in such a... Yeah, anyways, it's perfect. I only have 1 source of red out, and I'm getting her out. This is why it's the perfect deck for her. I could morph, but that still takes 3 red. Anyways, 6/6. Can't be countered. Flying, trample, protection from white and from blue. For 1, that's Fire Breath, the fire breathing, so she gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. 1 red. And morph, but we're not morphing. We are not Mighty Morphin today. Let's go back like... There we go. Tapped and attacking. So it's currently... My hesitation to attack with Sigarda's Vanguard was she attacks, all those declaration of attack things happen, Chroma is not on the battlefield. Now, I might be able to swing with both of these and trigger Kaalia's attack trigger before Sigarda's Vanguard. So I have this creature tapped and attacking, and then, since she's attacking, I choose any number of creatures, which could even be Angelic Arbiter as well, because I already chose Kaalia as my 5 or as my double striker. That could be 5, 3, and 6 power double strikers. So this would be a total of 10, 16, 28 plus. That's 38 damage in the air right now. Yeah. That is that final turn for this first test game. Karmic Guide was in my hand. 2/2 flying, protection from black. Has an echo cost, so if I don't pay the echo cost, it gets sacrificed at my upkeep. And when it enters the battlefield, I return target creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. Effectively, this was more Kaalia retrieval. And eventually it becomes like if I come across a board wipe or something like that, then I can have Karmic Guide in my graveyard, and I have ways to reanimate, which reanimating Karmic Guide reanimates something else. And so it is something that I'm intentionally not paying for that echo cost. It's actually kind of interesting how that one fits in here. Let's show. There we go. And I recently bought a card that until now I was like, why did I buy this card again? And let me just pull it out because I think it's kind of silly. It's not something that I don't think it would be consistently triggering. Maybe it'd be consistently triggering, but not for things that I would expect. This one. Battle Angels of Tyr. 4/4 Flying Myriad. When it deals combat damage to a player, I draw a card if that player has more cards in hand than each other player. Okay. Then I create a treasure if that player has more lands than each other player. Then I gain 3 life if that player has more life than each other player. So it would have to be they're doing the best out of everybody for me to actually get that to happen. That's very interesting. It was also a Restoration Angel that I got from Innistrad Remastered. 3/4 Flash Flying. When it enters, I may exile a non-angel creature I control, then return it to the battlefield under my control. Except most of my creatures are angels, so that really doesn't work as a great blink effect in this deck. Just that quick. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Let's go with that next test. Thinking about it, maybe that was just my rare from that pack. I bought it in auction and it came kind of separately, and I was like, did I buy this separately? Why did I buy that? But no, it makes sense actually if it came from that set. Soul Ring in my hand, so I'm gonna put that on the bottom. This is a test game. I don't want a Soul Ring in my beginning hand. That's not the point. Very cool. I actually really like this, if this works out for me. Actually, I take that back. I hate this hand. I'll go into why. Sarah Avenger. 2 white. Can't play it during my first, second, or third turn of the game. Just as a real quick thing, my 2 lands is a Swamp Mountain and a Mountain. So, 2 white, 1 and a white, 2 white and a black, 3 and a black, sure, 2 black and X. I'm just not going to risk it with that, land that I'm starting with. So, it is a smart idea to mulligan. All right. And it's also a deck that I've thought about putting in a Guide of Souls, just because it can make Kaalia into an angel, give counters and all of that extra benefits with a Guide of Souls. But that would be the only energy source. It's not an angel itself, so I mean it's cheap, so it's not like I have to worry about cheating it out or anything like that. But it's also, this deck isn't necessary. Like, yes, it's a creature deck, but it's not like that kind of creature deck. It's not trying to get out a bunch of creatures and then get a bunch of life and get a bunch of energy. It would just be at pace, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get out Kaalia, she makes a creature, maybe I cast a creature. Like, it's not something where it's like, okay, I get this creature and he makes me 5 creatures, so that total is, like Jacked Rabbit or something like that. He enters with 5 counters and then you swing with him. He makes 5 rabbits. Altogether, that's, him, sure, that's 1, and then those 5 is 5 life, 5 energy. That actually gives me a great idea. Jacked Rabbit and Guide of Souls. Oh my gosh. Because then he can use the energy from the Guide of Souls to make the Jacked Rabbit an angel. And +3/+3. Oh my gosh. This is why I goldfish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna do that. I don't know if it's gonna go into Balin or Kadira, but it's gonna go into one of those. I like this hand a lot better. Collector's Cage, Grand Abolish, Reconnaissance with Kaalia. We're keeping this. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Let's see how this fares. Turn on. Draw. Let's go. Temple of Skrylance. Scry 1. Urza's Cave. I will keep that. Go to turn 2. Untap, upkeep, draw. Now I'll play that. Won't I? Yeah, sure. Let's go white and 1. Collector's Cage. Hideaway 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lindvala, Keeper of Silence. That was the one that I was mentioning in the Jumpstart. Activated abilities of creatures my opponents control can't be activated. So it's not an online permanence, but it is a lot. And that is going to be my Hideaway card. The other ability, tap 1 and it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature I control. Then, if I control 3 or more creatures with different powers, I may play the exiled card without paying its mana costs. Which, in Kaalia, she has 2. A lot of my angels are 4 and bigger, or so. Maybe getting counters. I have equipments to change that. It happens. Counters. 3. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Let's go with Shattered Landscape. Let's crack that and sacrifice it for a mountain. There we go. Lots of shuffling. All right. And there we go. And then I will go ahead and tap that white for Reconnaissance. For 0, I may remove target attacking creature I control from combat and untap it. So effectively, I can attack with Kaalia, get her attack trigger, so I have another tapped and attacking creature. And if either of those 2 creatures become unsafe during attack, I can pay 0, remove them from combat, untap them. Now I have blockers. And even still, if Kaalia deals combat damage, after damage is dealt, but before before the combat phase is over, I can do this. So damage is dealt, technically prevented, but it's already been dealt, damage is done, and then she's untapped as though she had Vigilance. It's very cool. Let's go to turn 4. Untap, upkeep, draw. Sweet. Actually, let's go with this. Plains. Let's go let's just start going. White, red, black, and 1. Kaalia of the Vast. Let's go next turn. Turn 5. On tap, upkeep, draw. It's going to be for an Evolving Wilds. I'll probably crack that in a second. Let's go Plains for a white, Temple of Silence for a white, Grand Abolisher as a 2/2. And then I will declare attack with Kaalia. When she swings, that will be Amaria Shepherd. Enter the battlefield tapped and attacking. I will then tap this one and Collector's Cage to give Kaalia a 1/1 counter because that's not at sorcery speed. Now I have creatures of power 2, 3, and 4. I get Linvala, Keeper of Secrets, to the battlefield. Mid-combat even. And no matter what happens through combat, these guys will be untapped because of reconnaissance, and I will crack my Evolving Wilds before moving on. What do I even want to search for? I've got white, white, red, there's black. More plains are always good. Let's just go with the plains. Actually, for whatever reason, I want to go with the swamp. Swamp. Sweet. As far as a turn 5, that was awesome. And the best thing about Collector's Cage is you can just keep on doing that. Tap 1, tap it, put a counter. Also, landfall from... Oh, maybe I should have gone to plains. Nope, it actually doesn't matter. Non-land permanent. So, Amaria Shepherd is... Let me just... Is that... That's alright. Anyways, Amaria Shepherd. 4/4 flying, has landfall. I put... return a non-land permanent from my graveyard to my hand, but if that land was a plains, I return it to the battlefield instead. Very cool. Let's go to turn 6. Untap. Upkeep. Nothing. Draw. Okay. Thriving Bluff. Enters tapped. I choose white, so it taps for red or white. Let's go ahead and go 1, 2, 3. And Urza Saga. Sacrifice it, search my library for a land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I actually don't remember if there was a specific land. I mean, there's Command Beacon. That's not a bad one. Restless Fortress isn't a terrible one either. But I mean, do I have anything that, like, gives a buff? Do I have anything that gives, like, lifelink? That'd be silly. A Ganjo, but that goes to the battlefield. Cool. I think that it might just be, Nomad Outpost. Just not a Triome, but taps for 3. Or one of 3. And it's a free shuffle. Another free shuffle. Yeah, technically landfall, but nothing amounts of it. And that's kind of looking like the turn. I can tap Temple of Silence, tap Collector's Cage, put another 1 on counter on Kaalia. I do not have any angels, demons, or dragons to put out. I could always swing. I have reconnaissance, so let's just say that I swing and then use reconnaissance. Final turn. Untap, upkeep, nothing. Draw. More land. So, the things that I had in my hand. late to dinner, so if anything in my diet, I would be able to get it back from my graveyard and make a food in addition. Restart sequence, similar thing, return target creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. I am really expecting Kaalia to die. Settle the wreckage. I am also expecting to be attacked. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search their library for that many basic lands, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So with that, one of the silly cards that I have, because I have a couple of things, I know I have a Path to Exile in here as well. There's a deep, what is it? I want to say that it's like a Deep Gnome Terramancer. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's something, some kind of dwarf. Some silly dwarf. He has flash. He enters, or no, not an entry effect. It's whenever an opponent searches their library for a land. No, it's not even that. Whenever an opponent gets a land to their battlefield, if it wasn't played there from their hand, something like that, then I get to search for a land. So I want to say that it's like if they have a Terramorphic Expanse, that is played from their hand, but then they use it to search for a different land. Well, now that because you got that other land, I get to search for a Plains. Or, hey, I use a Settle the Wreckage, so you get to search for however many lands equal to the number of creatures that attack me. Because one or more lands you got, that way, I get to search for a Plains. And so it really is something where, early on, it's great, and getting me land. Late game, that's deck thinning. It's getting Plains out of my deck, so I'm hopefully drawing into more Angels. Yeah, that's... I honestly think Deep Gnome Terramancer is not too far off. Anyways, it'd be silly if he heard me and just came right into my hand. You guys can see I'm shuffling right here. I'm not doing anything funny. Like there's a reason to, whatever. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 lands, including an Iganjo. Winds of Abandon is another one. Similar to Settle the Wreckage. Having both of them in my hand, I'm going to shuffle. Oh my goodness. And I've been shuffling, so let's just do a little bit less lengthy of a shuffle. Getting close to that half-hour point, so this will be that last game of the video. That's not bad. That's not bad for land. This has a dragon. This has a demon. Let's go. All right. Sweet. That's great. Turn 1. Draw. I like this. Black Cleave Cliffs enters tapped unless I control 2 or fewer other lands. So it is untapped. I'll tap it. Sky Blinder's Staff. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. So if I give that to something with flying and it can't be blocked by creatures with flying, you gotta have something with reach. Untap. I'll keep draw. Or special circumstance, which, whatever. Let's go with this Plains. I think that's actually going to be that, so pass. Turn 3. Untap, upkeep, draw. That's going to be for Clifftop Retreat. Enters tapped unless I control a mountain or a plains. That is all I can do for that turn. It's a little bit of a slow start, but that's fine. Turn 4. Untap, upkeep, draw. That's actually kind of funny. Mountain. I will go red, white, black, and 1 for Kaalia of the Vast. Let's go to turn 5. Untap, upkeep, draw. Very cool. Now, do I want to or not? Let's just do it. Iganjo, Seat of the Empire. That will be white, white to cast Sarah Avenger. It is turn 5, so I don't have to worry about that. 3/3 Flying Vigilance. It's an angel. I can tap 1, 2, 3 to equip Skyblinder's Staff to Kaalia, making her a 3/2 flying that cannot be blocked by creatures with flying. And let's swing with Kaalia. On declaration of attack, Sephara Sky's Blade will go from my hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. This is a 7/7. I may pay 1 white and tap 4 untapped creatures I control with flying rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Flying lifelink. Other creatures I control with flying have indestructible. This one's an awesome card. So now Kaalia is a 3/2 flying indestructible that cannot be blocked by creatures with flying. And Sephara is swinging as a 7/7 flying lifelink. Sweet. Let's go to turn 6. Tap. Upkeep, nothing. Draw. That's awesome. Let's go 1 white. Just drew into Reconnaissance. Now I can go with one of 3 things. So let's start with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blood Mist came back to me. Now, that was not even one of my 2 things. Let's check it. Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. This was a Calamity Beast from Bloombarrow. You can see right there, that might even be Phineas. He has a little bow. Anyways, Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. 5/5 flying when he enters or attacks, which he enters the battlefield tapped and attacking, so that is not him declaring unattacked. So it's just him entering the battlefield. But that would be with Kaalia. Entering the battlefield or attacking, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater. You may play those cards until your next end step, and at the beginning of your next end step, he deals 2 damage to each opponent for each of those cards that are still exiled. And thinking about it, I have already played my land this turn, and I do not have any mana to cast spells, so I think that this will be my next turn. Archfiend of Spite, 6/6 flying. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to Archfiend of Spite, that source's controller loses that much life unless they sacrifice that many permanents. Let me move this up a little bit more centered. There we go. If a source an opponent controls deals damage to him, they lose that much unless they sacrifice that many permanents is gross. And then Angelic Arbiter came back to us as well, which is not a bad choice either. So back to this. Let's just swing with Kaalia. Sephara is also a smart choice because I have Reconnaissance. And Sephara can be my choice for Blood Mist because it's a double strike flying lifelink now. On combat, that will be Archfiend of Spite coming in from Kaalia. And no matter what happens in combat, Reconnaissance will be untapping them all. Let's go to this final turn of this. Oh man, these are flying by. Heck yeah. So let's untap, upkeep, and draw. Very cool. Let's go like this. Let's just start off with Dragonhawk. Declaring attack with Kaalia, Sarah Avenger, Archfiend of Spite, and Sephara Sky's Blade, having Sephara gain double strike. And you have Vigilance, so that's cool. That'll be Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest, entering tapped and attacking. When it enters, I exile the top X cards, where X is the number of creatures I control with power 4 or greater, which is 3. So 1, 2, 3. Deep Gnome Terramancer. See, I got the name right. I know what I'm talking about. Now, these are going to get exiled. I think that it's okay if they're exiled. Because then if, for example, if I keep all 3 of them exiled, that's 6 damage to each opponent. Because that's 2 per card. I don't need any of these. Like, this is just land. This is creatures in my graveyard which I don't have. And Stargaze is actually going to be the best of all of them, which I can't even do because I don't have a second black. So yeah, all three of these are just going to remain in exile. Second main, or actually before second main, is going to be Reconnaissance. And then second main is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sigarda's Vanguard. Doesn't really happen, doesn't do much right now, but when she enters, that could be Kaalia, Dragon, Hawk, Archfiend of Spite, and Sephara each get double strike until the end of turn. And then if I wanted to on next combat, I could choose Vanguard as Blood Mist or Kaalia as Blood Mist to get everything except for one to have double strike. In my hand, excuse me, in my hand, Angelic Arbiter, next draw, land. Okay, that's cool. Because even still, after that next draw, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because of Dragonhawk, Archfiend of Spite, Sephara, and Angelic Arbiter. So, Angelic Field Marshal, Baneslayer Angel. I could have cast either of those. Creatures I control get +2/+2 in Vigilance with Lieutenant, Flying First Strike, Lifelink, Protection from Dragons and Demons. That's such a hard choice, but it's so good. Anyways. That is my Kaalia deck. It's a lot of angels. There are dragons, there are demons, like I mentioned at the beginning, but for the most part, it is angels. I really like how I built this deck. I have seen many iterations of Kaalia of the Vast. Who hasn't? They are very good, very gross, can get out of control if you do not have ways to deal with them. And as you probably saw multiple times throughout that video, I had a number of ways to deal with someone dealing with Kaalia. One of the things that I didn't show up as much is I do have ways to give my creatures haste. I don't remember if I have Lightning Greaves in the deck entirely because I am targeting Kaalia so much with, target creature gains double strike, or target creature equip target creature, or whatever. Similar to why I wouldn't want to have a Prowler's Helm in the deck. I am doing more with Kaalia than just. Sure, making her harder to target is great, but only harder to target for my opponents. So hexproof over Shroud. So I definitely have Swiftfoot boots. I'm not sure if I have Lava Spur boots, but that one is that one's just a great one. I love that one. Anyways, stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. Yeah, feel free to drop a like or comment, or even go as far as subscribing. I don't care. I'm not asking for anything. You guys just enjoy the content. Hope you do, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.